The thing about walking into a room full of apex predators is that you usually only make that mistake once. Mackenzie Thorne palmed the entry panel to Maintenance Bay 7 without breaking stride. Diagnostic scanner in one hand, exhaustion weighing down the other. Tarv had called in sick again, which meant she was covering his shift on top of her own. The door slid open with its usual pneumatic hiss. She stepped inside, took 3 steps, then froze. 3 Velic juveniles stood arranged in a defensive cluster near the far wall. Their skin had flushed crimson with jagged black stripes, the kind of coloration that on Earth would scream, "Poison dart frog, back away now." Spine barbs fully extended, quivering with tension, each roughly the size of a large dog, but built with the compact muscularity of something designed to kill prey twice its size. 6 eyes per head locked onto her. 12 points of focus, tracking her every breath. The smallest one was making a high-pitched keening sound, spine barbs vibrating so fast they hummed like live wires. Mac's brain supplied 3 pieces of information simultaneously. These were children. They were terrified, and they could absolutely disembowel her before she hit the ground. "Oh, hell," she said aloud. "Nobody told me we had kids loose in here." Somewhere in the station's security office, Chief Van's bioluminescent skin flashed through every color that meant catastrophic failure imminent. Her species, the Trileks, communicated through light patterns, and right now, those patterns were screaming. The security feed showed everything. Mac standing perfectly still, the juveniles in full threat display, the largest one lowering into a crouch. That was absolutely, unmistakably a bouncing stance. "Chief," one of the operators started. "Do not interrupt," Van's translator unit snapped. "Record everything." 30 minutes earlier, 3 cadets had discharged a plasma torch during a training exercise. The sound, a screaming electromagnetic howl, had sent the Velic younglings fleeing in panic. They'd barricaded themselves in Bay 7, and every attempt to approach had escalated their defensive response. Sedation was impossible. Their metabolism converted tranquilizers into stimulants. The parents were 6 hours away in deep space transit, and now a human maintenance engineer had walked straight into the nightmare. Max set down her scanner with deliberate care. The motion caught the largest juvenile's attention. All 6 eyes tracked the device as it touched the deck plating with a soft metallic clink. Then she did something that made every species in the security office question human survival instincts. She sat down, just dropped into a cross-legged position, making herself smaller, less threatening. The juveniles' chromatophores flickered, confusion mixing with their aggressive crimson display. "I'm going to guess," Max said conversationally. "Nobody explained what a plasma torch sounds like." Her voice stayed soft, unhurried. "Because if they had, you'd know those idiot cadets weren't trying to hurt you. They're just cosmically stupid." The smallest juvenile made a questioning chirp. Its spine barbs stopped their frantic vibrating. "Yeah, I know," Mac continued. "Humans are weird too. We're squishy and small and make no sense." She extended one hand, palm up, fingers relaxed. "Not reaching, just offering. But I'm not here to scare you." The largest juvenile took one step forward, then another. Its spine barbs remained extended, but they'd stopped quivering. The crimson in its skin was fading to a muted rust color. In the security office, Cadet Hess whispered, "Is she just talking to them?" Van's entire body pulsed confused purple. Mac kept her hand steady. "You're scared. That's okay. It's loud out there. Lots of weird species doing weird things. Nobody gave you a map for this, did they?" The juvenile came closer, close enough that Mac could see the individual scales on its skin, the way its claws flexed against the deck plating. Close enough that one swipe could end her. She reached out slowly and pressed her lips to its forehead, right between the two rows of eyes. The spine barbs retracted instantly. The juvenile's skin flushed soot blue-green. Then it started purring. The sound was like a rusty motor turning over, mechanical and organic all at once. The other two juveniles immediately crowded in, their skin shifting from crimson thread displays to curious yellows and greens. "What the hell did she just do?" Cadet Jorm breathed. Van's translator rendered her response flatly. "I have absolutely no idea." By the time Max stood up, all three juveniles were pressed against her, their spine barbs fully retracted, making contented rumbling sounds. She absently patted their heads while muttering about needing to actually fix the air recycler. The security footage would be analyzed 17 times in the next hour. Xenobiologists would debate it for weeks. But in that moment, only one person in the galaxy understood what had happened. Mac had seen 3 scared kids and treated them exactly like that. Nothing more, nothing less. The complications would come later. 2 hours later, Max sat in a conference room designed for species that actually fit into chairs. Station Commander Yael, human, exhausted, and deeply skeptical of the universe, pulled up the security footage for the 5th time. Across from him, a Cathari analyst designated Purrs 7 ascending perched on the table like a judgmental mantis. In the corner, a dawn observer refracted light through their crystalline mass in patterns suggesting either contemplation or a malfunction. "Explain it again." Purrs 7 ascending clicked, mandibles working in agitation. "It's a kiss," Yael said, already tired. "Humans do it to show affection. Affection toward an immature threat, form capable of disemboweling her." The Cathari's antennae quivered. "This is a dominance display." "She didn't think she was in danger." Yael pinched the bridge of his nose. "Then she's defective," Purrs 7 ascending concluded. "No functional survival instinct." The door opened. Mac walked in, still wearing coveralls, name patch half torn off. "Are we done?" Mac asked. "Because Bay 7's air recycler actually does need fixing, and I'm not getting overtime for this." Yael gestured at a chair. "Please sit. We have questions." Mac dropped into the seat with the enthusiasm of someone facing root canal surgery. "Let me guess. Everyone wants to know why the scary alien puppies stopped being scary." "They are not puppies," Purrs 7 ascending said flatly. "They have 6 eyes, 4 arms, and were literally shaking with fear." Mac looked at the analyst like they'd failed basic math. What was I supposed to do? Let them panic themselves into hurting someone? "You could have alerted security." Security was clearly handling it great. Her tone could have cut Durasteel. "Look, I've got a niece back on Earth. She's 4. When she gets scared, you know what doesn't help? Strangers in uniforms yelling protocol. You know what does? Someone getting down on her level. The dawn pulsed thoughtful gold. The problem, Mac, Yael leaned forward, is that you've created an interspecies incident. The Velic juveniles have been following you around the station for 3 days. They won't leave your quarters. Their skin shifts to distress colors when you're out of sight. Mac blinked. They've been what? You imprinted them, Cheer 7 Ascending announced with satisfaction. Classic pack bonding behavior. They perceive you as a guardian figure. I kissed their foreheads. I didn't adopt them. Your species doesn't require formal rituals. The Cathari brought up a data file. Documented cases include Earth canines, Earth felines, Earth rodents, several non-Earth species previously classified as vermin, 2 AI constructs, and, according to one infamous incident, a cargo container someone painted eyes on. That last one was Jenkins, and he was very drunk. The Velic parents arrive in 2 hours, Yael said quietly. They're going to want answers. And our answer is that their children now refuse to leave a human maintenance engineer's side. Max stared at him. You're joking. I wish I was. The Velic parents materialized in the docking bay with the kind of presence that made evolution seem less like theory and more like a warning label. 8 feet tall, claws that could slice through bulkheads. Skin cycling through deep purples and blacks. Formal diplomatic presentation, not aggression, but the distinction felt academic. Behind them, 3 significantly smaller Velics bounded off the transport and made immediately for Mac. The smallest one, Mac had privately named him Squeaker, wrapped all 4 arms around her leg. The larger parent, Corvest, tilted their head with impossible articulation. 6 eyes focused on Mac with laser intensity. You are the human. I am a human. Mac corrected. There's a few thousand of us around. Corvest's claws flexed. You touched our offspring. Your offspring were scared. I helped. Our juveniles do not experience fear. They are trained from emergence to suppress panic responses. It is weakness. Mac looked down at the 3 juveniles purring at her feet. Right, no fear. That's why they were barricaded in a maintenance bay, making distress calls. Corvest's skin rippled through colors Mac couldn't interpret. Among our species, physical contact with a juvenile's primary sensory region indicates intent to assume protective responsibility. You have declared yourself their secondary guardian. That's not what The gesture carries meaning, regardless of your understanding. The second parent, Jezvel, interrupted. You have performed a binding social contract. Squeaker chirped happily and hugged Mac's leg tighter. Mac looked at Yael, who was making strangled sounds that might have been suppressed laughter. So, by kissing their foreheads, I accidentally adopted 3 apex predator children in your cultural framework. Supplementary caregiver, Corvest said. Like an aunt. What's an aunt? Chesvel asked. 3 months later, Mac would discover her face in xenopsychology textbooks. The Thorn technique. Forehead contact as universal pacification. Diplomats across 17 systems would attempt to replicate it with varying degrees of disaster. But right now, watching Squeaker purr against her leg, Mac just sighed. I want it on record that I hate everyone involved in this situation. Squeaker chirped. Mac couldn't help but smile. Some things didn't need protocol. They just needed someone who gave a damn.